Hi Taurus, welcome to mid-November. The new moon in Sagittarius is an end note and a new beginning all in one. It is a new moon that you don't want to miss because it rules all the things that you put a lot of thought into. You know, your relationships, other people's money. And a lot of the time, these are things that you put a lot of thought into because you have anxiety about them. This new moon gives you some degree of control on what it is that you manifest in the next chapter. Jupiter is going to move into Capricorn in December, 2nd of December to be precise. And with the shift into Capricorn season energy, because Venus is moving into Capricorn too. This energy for you, Taurus, is very much about getting some degree of freedom. And in order to make that freedom work for you, you first have to look at where you are bonded, what you have put yourself into in a serious way, where your contracts are, what you're contractually obliged to do, who you are sharing finances with, who you are in love with, who you want to be in love with, who you believe would make you happy. You have to put a lot of thought into these things and reevaluate them in order to begin some new chapter that works better. The Empress and the Page of Pentacles. Your value in your work career becomes very clear. How valued you are becomes clear. Maybe you're quite simply in a job that doesn't utilize your talents and you feel like you're going to waste because you are an Empress, yet you're being treated like a page. But even the Empress had a childhood. Even the Empress was an infant. 4 of Cups. But you're feeling a little bit dissatisfied with your own energy. And I understand that. Scorpio season is very much to do with trying to keep your most important relationships going. With all the oppositions in the sky for you, you feel 1 second like you want to be part of something. And the next minute, the Fool, like you want to be free. 5 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and the Fool. It's time to decide with your most intimate relationships if you're going to nurture them or you're going to move on, Taurus. In love, I feel like a lot of you may be pushed to, with that full moon having been in your sign, you may have been pushed to re-examine your closest relationships and you might not like what you saw and you're thinking of starting over. For others of you, you've decided that starting a new relationship is a good idea. For some of you, that's working really very well. But again, the Sagittarian energy moving into Capricorn season is ironically when Taurus becomes most free. When you crave the excitement, when you crave the adventure, and you just want to find something refreshing emotionally. You're ready for something new. You're ready for something, Taurus, that can give you a bit more emotional fulfillment than where you are at. Because the gluttony that surrounds you from other people, the laziness from other people, the sharpness from other people, the antagonistic attitudes of other people just isn't sitting well with you at the minute. And you're probably thinking, maybe it is time for me to jump ship because I'm kind of tired of picking up the slack. I'm kind of tired of being the one that's always there. 3 of Wands and the 5 of Wands. A lot of you are considering saying something or not saying something to somebody who has the power to change the direction of something you're doing. And you are possibly finding, Taurus, that as we shift into Sagittarian season, you are kind of thinking about using that voice of yours and talking about the future, and you just feel like you're coming up against opposition, because the 7th house often can indicate enemies as well. And you're just feeling a little bit stifled by people. The full moon gave you a sense of command of your own destiny, and you're starting to feel a little bit limited by your surroundings, because you know you could do better. I don't necessarily mean that romantically. I mean in terms of your environment, because Taurus is an earth sign. The environment you're in is completely pivotal to your health. I think for a lot of you dealing with an Aquarius, you're getting sparks of inspiration there, or you're getting sparks of fury from this person. It can go either way. You're a little bit put off by people who are too sharp, but you're also really listening to the words of someone who's inspiring you to think differently. Some kind of mentor. With the fire sign, King of Wands and the Devil, you may find yourself really very passionately attracted to somebody as we move into the new year, Taurus. And it could be very, very heated. I'm going to put those there. If you're dealing with an air sign, there seems to be some degree of wish fulfillment there. Either they're helping you fulfill your dreams, or you're helping them fulfill theirs, or you guys have a lot to talk about. That is exciting. But that full moon in your sign and the new moon in Sagittarius is setting you up for something bigger that is going to require you to be a bit selfish. And I think with the Empress and the Four of Cups, an opportunity possibly arose in the last month or so that you decided not to take. And I think you were wise not to. You've rejected something and you made the right choice. Now, as Mercury goes direct on the 20th of November and Mars goes into your partnership zone, you may find romance quite challenging at times if you're in a committed relationship, Taurus, but it remains the same. You will still get what you put into your relationships. Nurture them and they will grow. If they do not grow, they are not meant for you. Something new will be there if you choose to begin a new journey. And if all that remains, if you choose to begin a new journey, is a feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment, and it's not necessarily something you can hold in your hand, you need to learn, Taurus, that a possession is not necessarily what makes you happy. Sometimes the sense of fulfillment and satisfaction is a possession all in itself. Just because you can't hold it physically doesn't mean that you don't get to be happy. One thing I will say if you're a Taurus, be a little bit careful of empty promises. Particularly, I think from a fire sign. A Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, be wary of discovering something for them or with them. It could be about them, they might not know it, but just be wary of that. And just remember that if somebody makes you feel bad for no reason, it's almost as if they're trying to stop you from figuring them out. You know, if somebody is telling you that you're a terrible person for things that you really don't mean to be terrible for, just be careful of deflection is all I'm saying. And it doesn't have to be a fire sign, but just be wary of somebody that makes you feel crazy. Because fire signs here just kind of come up with almost like a level of obsession or Something like that. It could be that you're very obsessive over a fire sign and you might need to loosen the reins a little bit, ever so slightly. I think you have a platform at the end of November as well, Taurus, to organize or speak in a way that you would do very well with. Taurus rules the voice. And Taurus is often a sign that can fear leadership, because the second you get into it, you're stuck there and you will remain there for a long time. So if you don't want that, be wary of impressing people a bit too much, because I think there's people that want you to speak. People that want you to be at the forefront of the conversation, leading the conversation. And I think for some of you that involves outgrowing where you are and outgrowing the parts of your life that have just become so unlike you that you're deceiving yourself to keep them in. Uranus in your sign is liberating you from all that you thought you were. And you're discovering, Taurus, that you are not incapable of learning something new or experiencing something new, regardless of what age you are, regardless of where you're from. You can experience something very new and very, very beautiful, I think, as we move into Sagittarius season. But particularly, Taurus, you know, this is mid-November, but the December reading is going to be where you really see the value and the actual physical rewards of what you decide you want when the full moon in Sagittarius comes around. On the 26th of November. I believe it's the 26th of November. If it's not, I'll correct it in the description. But that is when you make some big decisions and some big changes, Taurus. Be prepared for them. Now we have a fire sign here that seems to be kind of interesting. It's coming up pretty poignantly. There's an air sign. Well, there's air signs. And we'll get into the water signs and the fellow earth. If you're dealing with them in the extended, it's going to be linked below if you want to join me there. If not, Taurus, I will see you in December for the festive period, the holiday season, all of the above. Love you very much. I'll see you later. Bye.